Hello and welcome to Daytona Road Course. This is another track guide of Daytona, so here are the statistics. It's a 3.56 mile track, the longest straight of 0.36 miles and no elevation. The straight is far longer than that because obviously it doesn't include the curve, but we'll get to that in the track guide. No elevation change, flat track apart from the camber obviously on the corners of the oval. So this track is also an oval. So let's get down to it. The first and hardest corner is right at the beginning, obviously it's the first corner, and it's straight away across the line. Now your braking point is that white line that we just passed, or just before the green ends, before the first pit exit. Now I'd recommend braking straight initially and then just trail braking this, and because you're trail braking, the rear end of the car, of any car, is going to want to come out, so do be careful of this. I'd take this corner very easily compared to other corners, just for that fact of, you know, rear end coming out, sliding and things like that. Take it easy, just get around the corner. You can build time up in far more places around this track. So as you exit that corner, you want to use all the curbing on the right and try and get a smooth run out of here. Straighten this as much as possible, go as close as you can to the barrier and then head out. Now for the International Horseshoe, as this next corner is known, you can use these braking points on the left. You got this shadow, and then this next shadow, which is the main one I use. Obviously I use that in this as well, and then this one is just for, like, obviously the really downforced cars with high brakes. But in this corner you want to stay really tight, and the reason for this is the exit. It opens up a lot and it gives you an extra piece of road to use. Now in some championships you can't use that, in some you can. So I'd recommend staying tight and using that if you're allowed to. If there's no mention of it, use it. It's tarmac, you know, you can use that. So coming out the corner, you want to accelerate and you want to move over to the right, and you're going to have a long sweeping left. Now if you've got a car that understeers a lot, you will have to come off the accelerator or even brake for this next corner. In this case, as you'll see on the flying lap, I don't have to do that. As long as I stay far right and straighten this corner as much as possible, I can just accelerate through. As you see here, I'm going to come in now. Now it's got a little dip, which you can use as well. It can upset the car, so if you've got a certain setup, it can upset the car and suddenly you correct it and going to the right. Be careful of that. Now we're coming into a long right hander, but it's quite sharp. Use these as braking points, these two roads, the start and end of them. Now depending on the car, depending on what you're going to use, and then obviously judge that accordingly, so you might have to brake a bit earlier. Coming into this corner, it doesn't really matter the line you take here because the corner closes up. It starts off really wide and closes up, meaning if you go to the outside you can get a good clean faster run out, or if you start on the inside you have to be really patient with the throttle. So wherever you position the car, it doesn't affect your lap time too much. There's other places where you can gain lap time and lose lap time far more dearly, so there you can be quite aggressive and get away with it quite easily. So do beware on the exit. As I said, it narrows up, it comes in, so if you accelerate too early you could go off. Coming in here, that's your first braking point. You can use that as your braking point, or the shadow, or this part. Basically any point which changes in the track that you can use as a good visual guide. So the road changing colour, surface and the shadow, because they don't change, very good braking points, and they're the ones I use for Daytona Road Course. So you'll come out that corner, try and aim for the oval as quick as you can. As I do there, we'll just speed it up for this next section. Obviously if you go out wide you're going to lose time. You just want to make the track as short as possible, as you want to do. As you do on any oval, stay on the inside. You can go up, but in most road cars you want to stay down, use as much as the camera as you can, and then head towards the outside. So this is a very hard corner. It's called the bus stop, this complex, and the first braking point is this black sign on the left. You can use that as your first braking point. If cars is very bad on the brakes, use that. You can also, as I've mentioned before, use the changing colour of the track on the left, so the grey, you can use that. Or as I use the tyre barrier, I watch how far on the left hand side it goes to my screen, and I can use that as a judgment. So obviously as the distance gets smaller I can use that and then judge that. Turning really early, you want to straighten this as best as you can, so you're using all the curb on the left and all the curb on the right, especially more on the right so that you don't go off on the exit, because obviously going off here means you will miss the next corner. But to gain a lot of time, this is where you can gain a lot of time. You can be very aggressive, straighten that up, and maintaining a lot of speed through that. So same again here, use all the curbing on the right, use all the curbing on the left, but be careful of overrunning that, running into that tyre wall on the left, and on the exit, head towards the outside of the corner. Really go as close as you can to the barrier, because that way you're not putting pressure on the tyres, and then you can just keep accelerating through, maintaining the maximum speed you can. So same again was the first part of the oval, just stay clean and tidy, and then we're going to accelerate towards the line. Now the pit lane is on the left coming up. I'll talk about that in the pit lane guide at the end of the video, but here you're just maintaining a clean line, and then you're preparing for the first corner, which is the hardest corner. So what we're going to do now is going to go into a flying lap, and I'll try and explain that as quick as I can in the flying lap, because obviously it's a flying lap. So as we come into the corner, we can use that white line on the right there, or the pit lane exit. As you can see here, I'm trail braking as best as I can. Car still won't make the corner, I'm oversteering, trying to control that with the braking. And then when we accelerate through, just a clean, smooth corner here. And as I head up to the International Horseshoe, I'm going to use the second shadow. You've got a choice of shadows depending on the car, and then I want to stay really tight. I get a bit of oversteer, which allows me to turn in a bit earlier. It means I don't have to use the exit, but do use the exit if you can. So we're going to accelerate now to the little left that we've got up here. As I said, if your car struggles with understeer, you may have to brake here. Obviously use different visual reference points there with the roads flying off everywhere. Use these two roads here, depending on the car. You know, go further into the road before you brake, or brake at the end of the road, or brake at the start of the road. And then you can use all the track here. It doesn't really matter, it won't affect your time too much. Coming up to this left before the oval, it is quite an important corner. You can use all the visual points on the right, with the changing of roads again, and get a clean, quick exit, and then head straight towards the oval. Don't sweep around on the outside, come in really tight, and then maintain a really inside line on the oval. Obviously, because it's a road car, I want to do that because I can use the camber to the maximum effect, and it'll be like that for most cars really, because the further you go up, obviously you could compromise your exit if it starts understeering on the exit, and then you hit the barrier, you lose a couple of miles an hour. So your braking point here for the bus stop, you've got the signs, you've got the grey change the grass, or the tyre wall here, which I use. It goes, you know, about a centimetre from the screen on the left, and I can use that as a visual guide. It's quite accurate that actually, because we're always on the right side of the track. Be aggressive in the bus stop, use all the curbing, straighten it as much as possible. Don't be overly aggressive on the exit, because obviously if you hit the tyre wall you lose all your speed, but do make sure you straighten it and get enough speed through, and then it's just accelerating to the finish line, thinking about the first corner again. So as I said, the first corner is the hardest corner on this track. If you struggle with that corner, just take it easy. Honestly, you can gain time elsewhere a lot better than the first corner. So we're going to go into a pit lane guide now. Now the pit lane on this is quite interesting really, because obviously it's a NASCAR track. Now I was a bit unsure with this, so I've come on the inside of that. It seems that you can go on the outside as well and come in, because the computer puts you over there. Obviously, as it's a NASCAR track, it's quite a big pit, because obviously their races are quite huge, and it's going to be a lot longer than say the Monaco one, just because of the distance of the pit lane. But also it can have an effect, because obviously the cars are doing maximum speed as they pass the pit lane, so obviously they're going to gain more time at that point. It's a long lap as well, so as you can see, I think our fast lap was about 2:04 in the 370. It's 2:31 as we cross the line. We're still in the pits. Now here, sometimes you can go right. I would recommend doing this. You know, it's a proper way out. It's very tight, as you saw there. Got a bit of oversteer, and then just follow this round. As you can see, we're up to 50 seconds now. At this point, it's sort of merging with the track really now with speeds, and then there we go, 57.5. So that was a quick track guide to Daytona Road Course. Hopefully that's of use. Do look for the pit lane guide again if you need it, and yeah, just watch out for that first corner. So thank you very much.